We have just got back from the Philippines, spent a whole month there, and it's just tied in nicely with us being full-time van lifers for the last 6 months. So today we're going to share with you the good, the bad, the ugly of our 6-month experience of van life. I think for me the main thing I love the most is just the freedom, just being able to park up wherever you want, whenever you want, just go. I mean, our house has wheels, like you can literally drive your house around whenever you want. So for me that's definitely my favourite thing, and just not being tied into anywhere and restricted.
You can literally leave at the drop of a hat and always have everything with you. You can choose your back garden every day. So like today, we're in a forest. It's really cold.
It's freezing. I'm not happy to be back in England.
Yeah, if you haven't watched any of our Philippine videos, take a look because it was just the most incredible trip.
It was unbelievable.
But being able to choose your back garden every day is really cool. Especially when you live in places, like we live in Sussex, and there's loads of really nice places that you can choose. Forests, beaches, lay-bys, you know, all of it.
Also living a minimalist life. Like before we moved into the van, we just got rid of so much shit that we just didn't need. And it's just nice to know you don't need all that shit as well. I don't think we missed a single thing that we've thrown away.
I actually really like throwing stuff away. I'm always trying to think, oh, what can I get rid of next? What have I not used recently? But it's nice, it's really liberating. And again, you don't feel attached to things at all.
At one point in the Philippines, we realised we could fit our whole life and all of our belongings onto one ped. So us two and 2 bags with everything we own pretty much on a ped. So that's quite
It's liberating.
liberating to know, yeah.
And just only having things that you use all the time. But I've really enjoyed the challenge of having to adapt, overcome.
Improvise.
So like things that work in, I don't know other word to call it, but normal life don't always work in van life, and you have to find alternatives quite often, and it's been fun. There are all those little wins when, I don't know, the coffee machine that we had wasn't going to work. We had to find one that still gave the best quality. This guy likes quality, so we don't compromise on quality of things, but we have to find a way to make it work otherwise. So every time we do that, which is often, it's like a nice little win. We're like, yes, we figured out how to make it work in this lifestyle, which has just been, I've really enjoyed that, like overcoming challenges all the time. I love always having my bed with me.
Yeah, we can literally just take a nap wherever we want. That is very nice.
Yeah, it's almost like a game every day, finding somewhere to sleep if we're not staying on our friends' and family's drives. That's quite fun. It's almost like having like a naughty little sleepover, like every night, isn't it? It's quite funny. And trying to be in stealth mode and not be too loud. It's quite funny. And also knowing what's to come, like knowing that we'll eventually do a trip around Europe and we can just go, we can just drive, and we have all our things and we can just go at the drop of a hat. It's really exciting. I know there's lots of adventures coming, so that's really cool.
And if anyone watching this is currently doing van life, let us know in the comments what's your favourite thing about van life.
The downsides, there's not loads, I don't think, but definitely like winter is hard. Being cooped up a lot is difficult in the winter. In the summer you can get outside and whatever. In the winter you can't, because you can't really get too wet because you can't bring moisture inside the motorhome or it ruins everything.
Yeah, I think finding places to park sometimes, when you go to town centres and stuff, you can't really park too close. Like if we're in Worthing, for example, we have to park in like Morrison's car park, which is like
on the outskirts of
on
town.
the outskirts, yeah. As general park-ups go, we found some pretty good spots now, so...
When you know it's quite easy.
Yeah. It took us... I think the main thing is just teething problems. Like when we first got in the van, there were like so many little things that just seemed like such a big deal. And we're like, oh my God, we can't do this, can't do that. And we just had to it's just figuring it out. But I think once we figured it out, it was like now, like we've pretty much got everything figured out. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Space is a hard one, especially because we work in the same building and we work from home and we run 2 businesses together and we live together in a motorhome. So that, it's intense, isn't it? And we're still working our way around that, how to get like enough space so we don't like bicker. We're pretty good, to be fair, but space is one for sure when 2 of us are living in there.
Yeah, so it's just figuring out ways that you can have a bit of space. Yeah, winter's a bit harder because obviously you're cooped up a bit more. But we're still figuring that one out. But I think we're pretty good, to be fair. I mean, we're pretty good at like spending a lot of time together and not like getting on each other's nerves, which is pretty like
Amazing.
pretty amazing, I'd say, to be fair. Like we did a pretty good job.
One thing I find hard is being woken up a lot. So I get woken up a lot by the cat and by Ollie moving around and getting up early and going to the bathroom. So that's one thing I personally like. Broken sleep is something I struggle with a little bit.
And I think being in a motorhome, like everything's just so much louder. Like you try and be in another, like in the kitchen, it's like literally like a metre away from from the bedroom. So it's like I try and get up and be quiet and not make as much noise, but it just doesn't work. Like even just like getting out of bed and just moving, like it just moves the motorhome, and yeah, can be loud. But I mean, generally when we're working, we wake up at the same time anyway, so it's not a problem. But yeah, since you've been back, I've been getting up a bit earlier, so you're not happy with that.
4:30 in the morning. And then I'm going to add the ugly here as well, because there's only 2 things that I personally think are the ugly of van life, and that is emptying the toilet and the cat litter tray.
Yeah, missing toilets are just a pretty
gross job,
horrendous
isn't it?
van life job, but it's part of it, I guess. And yeah, cat litter tray, that is also not fun. But other than that, I wouldn't really say there's like that many ugly things.
Oh, I thought of one more hard thing though, is constantly having to fill up water and finding places to do that. We haven't got down like many public places to fill up water yet, so we use family and friends. But having to refill the water like every couple of days, that's a ball ache. It's just, again, it's fine, but that is just a hard part of it. It's the life we chose, isn't it?
Yeah, there's just a lot more things that if you lived in a house, it would be a lot easier.
You have to take a lot more into consideration.
Yeah, it's just a lot more like stuff that's just a bit of a ball ache. But then
Stuff
again,
takes longer.
It's just a compromise, isn't it? Like you have the freedom of living in a van and choosing your home every night and choosing, just being where you want whenever you want. But I'll take that any day over just these little problems.
See, positive. Come back to the van. The forest is over there. Ollie's outside, getting some drone shots. And I'm already home, cooking some oats for us, whilst I get to stare at my beautiful cat. So many positives. One thing I would change is somehow make a space for the cat litter tray that isn't in our shower, because that's a little bit annoying, because we have to take it out, hoover the shower to then be able to shower. It's not the end of the world, it's just a little bit annoying.
Yeah, there's not a lot I would change. I mean, part of the reason why we got this motorhome in the first place was because it has everything we need, and we didn't want to faff about with getting a converted one and then having loads of problems. After seeing many videos of people with converted motorhomes, I don't think there's a single video on YouTube which someone living out of a converted motorhome
Or
van hasn't had problems with. So I'm just glad we got this brand new, because we haven't had a single problem with it.
I've had a few like teething snags, maybe snags is the right word, but they've all been fixed and sorted for free by the dealership, which is really cool. And the only other thing maybe that would be cool is if there was just a little bit more kitchen worktop space. But we do have this table, and we do work round it, to be fair, don't we?
Mm.
But that would like just a little bit more, like something that would maybe like fold out somewhere, or. But
very minor.
That is probably the only two things I would change here.
If anything, it's probably made our relationship better. I mean, if you've seen our previous videos from when we first got the motorhome, we come from living on a sofa and living in a room in my mum's house. But yeah, basically living out of rooms and on sofas in small spaces and with loads of other people.
Having our own like tiny little space with a door you can close has given us like space for intimacy, I guess. I would say it's difficult what you're comparing it to, because again, like the last living situation we were in before here was very stressful for us, so we weren't in the best place then. I would say we probably bicker a little bit more. We're under each other's toes all the time, so we bicker a little bit. We don't fight though, we don't argue, but we do bicker, I would say, like more than we did before.
Yeah, because it's just quite an intense living situation. So if you're thinking of van life with your partner,
make sure you really, really, really like them.
yeah, it does definitely a test of your relationship. But yeah, like I said, we've been through loads before, so
we knew we were going to be alright.
Yeah, and I think even more so, like I mentioned, in the winter, because we're not getting out as much as when we're basically little hermits just in here all the time, so it's important to have your own space.
Yeah, which in the winter is hard, so we're trying to figure out times where when we're working from home, one of us will go out and work, like at a cafe or something. It's just difficult when that also costs. If you go into a cafe, you have to buy a drink or two. Well, coffee these days are about £4, so if you're doing that every day, like it's very expensive. Right, so summer's easier because we just go outside. Winter is just a little bit more of a challenge, but we're working on it. Communication is key. As long as you're always talking about issues and things that arise and feelings you have, you just work through them. I think he's fine. He loves staying in the bedroom most of the time, just likes lounging around. But he did that when we lived in a house and when we lived in our flat. But even when he goes to my mum's, if we go away, he goes to my mum's for a little holiday, he does go out here and there to catch a rat and bring them in as gifts. But most of the time he just lounges around, and he does come out into this space a bit. In the evenings he comes out, doesn't he? But we've tried taking him out on the lead and he's just not interested. We'll keep trying that because at some point he'll build up the courage and go out. He is a scaredy cat. But he eats, he drinks, he functions normally. He comes out and snuggles up to us all the time. He comes and sits with us on the sofa. So I think he's fine. He doesn't like it when we start the engine, but after 6 months he's pretty used to it.
Yeah, as soon as you start the engine, you go under the duvet.
Tucks himself up like a little human.
So
it is
cute.
so cute. You're cute. Pretending you can't hear me,
What
but
would
I
I?
know you can. So overall, I can confirm we definitely made the right decision, and we are enjoying every challenge that comes up and learning how to overcome every challenge. Don't think this lifestyle is for everyone, but we make it work.
Hopefully in the next couple of months we should be able to share with you guys a big announcement. So make sure you're subscribed and we'll keep you updated. See you in the next one.